Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for tuning in to this happy Tuesday to you. Now, I know you're really excited to hear what we have to share today. Today's a big show, so we're going to jump right into it very soon here. But before we get started, I want to say a welcome to our friends. If you're joining us on replay, a big hello to you. And if you're joining us on Amazon Live, we're there for you as well. Hello, everyone. My name is Winnie Sun. I am here on In the Loop, and you're going to be meeting my co-host, Greg Nibbler, in just a moment. For those of you who are new to us, I am Winnie Sun, longtime financial pro, CNBC council member, Forbes contributor, and host of Level Up, which can also be found on NASDAQ and Amazon Fire, to name a few, and of course, here live. Now, joining me is my co-host and buddy who sets me up with the hippest Amazon wish list ever, the one and only Greg Nibbler. Greg, welcome to the show.
Hello. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It is a crazy, crazy day for the world of technology right now because Apple had their event today. We're going to be talking about that here coming up. So Android versus Apple, start thinking of which side you're on and why. We're going to have a bit of a challenge with that coming up where we can debate that. But if you don't know me, I'm Greg Nibbler. I am a tech journalist. I've been one for many, many years. Excited to be here today. Thank you for being with us on whatever platform you're on. We are live. We can take your comments as we go through. And it has just been, like I said, such a crazy day on my end. I'm really excited to be here right now and to get going and talking about all this. And Winnie always starts us off with what's going on in the world of finances and what's happening there. So let's go ahead and do that and kind of dig into it. Winnie, I know you always have interesting things to say.
Thank you, Greg. And you know what? I feel like this is totally up your alley today. So I'm so excited to hear what you have to say about today's big Apple announcement. But before we get started, let's talk about the market. There was a triple dip, unfortunately. The market closed down. The Dow closed down 292 points. The NASDAQ also down 67. And the S&P 500 also down 25 points. Now, stocks have been under pressure since last month's jobs report, which was released just recently on September 3rd, missing expectations. So you might be wondering what's going on with the financial health of the United States. Well, let's just say you're really going to want to tune in for the next few weeks for sure. Pay close attention to data coming out because it's really going to give us an indication of how the market's expected to fare in the coming, till the end of the year and whatnot. I'm actually working on some really good workshops as we speak to help you navigate year end. So let's just say we're hoping for better times, but if anything is an indication, let's just say historically, September has been a pretty rough month for the stock market, average decline of less than 1% in this month since the year of 1945. So it's like nothing new. September's kind of a downer for the stock market, but there's always good things to talk about. And one thing that I really want to share with you today, too, is you may not have seen this with all the news coming out of Apple, but have you heard of subscription food? Now, subscription food, you might think of like maybe, food services delivering to your home and whatnot. But let's talk about something else. And this was actually announced just this week from our friends at Taco Bell. Now, Taco Bell is actually headquarters not too far from where I'm joining you on today, but they're introducing something called the Taco Lovers Pass. Greg, have you seen this? I feel like this has you written all over it.
I don't know why you would say that, but yes, it does. No, I have not seen that. Like Taco Bell is kind of my shame food that I will secretly maybe or maybe not go get every now and then. But a subscription sounds like it would be a dangerous thing to me. I don't know exactly what's involved with it, but how does this work?
Okay, so for those of you like Taco Bell, like Greg does, you're probably going to really enjoy this. It's called the Taco Lovers Pass. I mean, it's almost like, what else would you call it? So it's a Taco Lovers Pass. So for 30 days, you can actually get one taco a day for 30 days. Now, this is going to launch, unfortunately, in neither of our territories, Greg. It's launching in Tucson, Arizona. So the Arizona area is like 17 different locations until November 24th. You can subscribe and you can get a taco every day. In fact, the subscription can price at between $5 to $10, which is not bad. $5 to $10 a month for I guess one taco a day. But then you got to live really close to a Taco Bell. This is what I'm thinking. Would you do this? Would you go every day to get your taco?
I mean, I do live pretty close to a Taco Bell. I will admit that. I don't know if I go there every day, though. I don't know if I could do that. to myself, although they are delicious. I would rather, like, if I could store them up for like maybe one, shame day a weekend where I just get like 7 tacos at once. That might be something that's that I would, maybe do and never admit to anybody. But yeah, I like this idea. I think it's a smart move on their part. I'm curious for everybody watching too, who would do this or who would
do this?
Who will admit to
Yeah.
doing this?
Good point. Like, let's say hello to our friends at Modern Mom. Say hello to Vicky Garvey on Facebook Live. Also joining us is CrossX Fighter, Joshua joining us from YouTube Live, and so many. We have a big audience today, so many of you joining us today. Thank you so much for being here. So what's going to happen for those of you who are in the Tuscan Arizona, or you're going to get this Taco Bell lovers pass or whatever. So here's the deal. So basically, you use your app, right? And you get to select from 7 different tacos. Now, this includes like your crunchy taco supreme, even this like Doritos tacos, spicy potato soft taco. I didn't know that was a thing. But yeah, so this is supposedly like really good, a smart business, because you think about it, if you're going to drive through and maybe go pick up your taco, they're assuming that you might pick up something else on the way. In fact, the subscription type of business for restaurants seems like this could be a thing, because if you remember, Panera Bread launched an unlimited coffee subscription back in February 2020. So people had to pay about $8.99 a month, and you would get unlimited coffee of your choice. I guess 1 coffee every day or something like that. And within 8 months, Panera had signed up nearly 500,000 subscribers to this program. And then if you have a BJ's restaurant and brew house nearby, they actually recently launched their beer subscription program for those of you who enjoy different types of beer. So for $30, then you can actually have to-go bottled beer as well as takeout pizza and all sort of like perks, discounts, and coupons. So I don't know, this might be a thing, right? I mean, this is really interesting because there's a lot of countries outside the US where really, like I have family in Taiwan, they literally don't cook because there's so many restaurants everywhere that it actually doesn't make sense to cook at home because it's less expensive to eat out. But I'm wondering if like restaurants are competing. What will be really interesting to see is, I think if like a Taco Bell, who has also relationships like a Pizza Hut and somebody else, has that sort of thing where you can go to multiple restaurants, right? Vicky,
that sounds like that seems like something that would work as a good idea. If you had it where you could exchange out, so it's not just a taco, maybe you get a sandwich, maybe you get something else, from a different associated restaurant. I think that's a cool concept, especially right now with, some of the places that may have been struggling. And as we come out of this, if this is something that people are getting used to with subscription services, and I guess it kind of shows how that's translating over to a lot of different industries.
Yeah, Netflix food, Greg. That's what you call it, Netflix food, right?
Yeah.
All right. Enough about food, because I don't know. I'm feeling like we're just talking about food. We're getting hungry, and I'm thinking, Vicky is joining us from the UK. She's getting hungry, but let's talk. We really need to talk about this Apple thing. So I was so curious, Greg, to see your thoughts on this. Now, let me ask you, how many times did you watch the stream?
I've watched the stream once. So I've watched it one time, going all the way through. I watched it this morning, recorded the entire thing, live tweeted it, and then I've seen it piece by piece as we've gone through everything else, and as I've been analyzing it all day, recording TV hits. So I've been pretty inundated with it all day long. So I've definitely seen quite a bit of what has happened. And I don't know, do you want to go ahead and go through what some of the announcements were?
I want to hear your feedback. And I know you were already on national TV earlier today, so thank you so much for doing this again. But I know you're going to save the juicy stuff for us. Like, I like to hear your perspective, surprises, and for those who didn't get a chance to watch it, because a lot of us are still working, what are some things that we got to make sure that are on our radar?
Yeah, well, let's kind of do a little rundown of what some of the biggest announcements were from this, because there was a surprise right out of the gate. So this was part of Apple's California streaming live event, which is a pretty big event when you're talking about Apple announcing new products, which, the iPhone is definitely part of that, but there was more. And something we didn't expect were new iPads. And we actually got 2 new iPads right out of the gate with this thing. And they make some pretty well-produced events. They've really mastered the virtual event. So it's pretty entertaining how they put it together. There's a lot of production value in it. But the new iPads, we got 2 of them. There's a new standard iPad at 10.2 inches. So you have that one that has come out. But the big thing really was the iPad mini. They put a lot of focus on that, on a new version of that. And it's been a while. I don't know how many people out there use the iPad mini, but now you've got a brand new version and they're pushing it for a couple of different things. One of them,
cool.
It looks pretty good. You also have the fact that it's, in addition to kind of looking pretty cool, the way that they've set
it looks sturdy.
Right. Yeah. It looks pretty sturdy. And I think it's got a pretty good IPX rating. So that's nice, especially with its, that size. I feel like you could drop it pretty easy. You've got that. That would be me. But it's also powered by this A15 Bionic chip. So that's a very powerful chip, which allows them to do a bunch of things. And that includes really good graphics and support for the Apple Pencil, but also 5G. So 5G is something that's baked into this. So if you have a 5G service, you can subscribe to for that. And the idea is that you can really work on the go anywhere and have super fast data speeds, as long as you're near where 5G is available. So we're talking about cities for the most part now, but you're also future-proofing it for when 5G is around a lot of other places. So that I thought was definitely a cool addition to it, to add that into it. It's got a 12 megapixel front camera. And the other part of it is this new way that it can actually track you. So you can actually track the person when you're doing, say, a video call, which we're all used to at this point, right? We're all
interesting.
Yeah. So, and even if something like this for a broadcast, you can move around and the camera will track where you are. So it's kind of a cool new mode that they have for it, and that they're adding in. And that was kind of a theme throughout the day too, in some different products. But yeah, this is the new iPad mini. I'm winning for you being in the Apple universe. What do you think of this?
Well, I got your tweet, Greg, that you tweeted me on this. And of course, I was actually watching it. Well, I kind of caught the tail end of it right before you tweeted me. And I was like, okay, I got to pay more attention to this. Greg, I have a couple questions for you. Number one, I mean, that's really cool. I have actually a longtime good friend, and he actually doesn't use a phone. He actually uses his iPad as his phone, right? So that he uses the data on it to make phone calls and receive phone calls. I mean, could this function as such, for those who don't want a traditional phone? And how much faster is 5G versus 4G? I'm guessing you can buy a data plan for this iPad, just like, you can for most iPads if you have the LTE function in it. I don't know. Those are sort of my initial questions, Greg. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose you could use it as a phone if you wanted to, but it's not really set up that way. It kind of looks like one. It's not that much bigger than what a phone is. I would guess, though, you would have some issues with it as far as, I suppose if you were always connected to 5G, it would depend on what kind of plan you had. That maybe you could, if you just want to make your phone calls online, if you just had, an online
you use your data plan.
Yeah. I mean, then I guess in theory you could do that. I don't know how many people would, but yeah, you could do that. We're kind of working that way to like a hybrid, right? It's kind
hybrid. I mean, I don't think I would, but I think some people do. But one thing that when you said that it tracks you, honestly, my first thought was when you said that, so like, what do you mean they track us? That means like for everybody who's remote working, right? Oh, are you in the office? Oh, no, at the office. Are you at home? I'm not. And then you're like, oh, I see you're in Hawaii.
Right. Yeah. Not that kind of tracking, thankfully. This one, and I wanted to make sure I got the name right because it's a brand new thing that they've got called Center Stage. So it's called Center Stage, and it'll track what you're doing, or at least it's a revamped way that they're doing that. So you've got that side. To the 5G point, 5G, if you have actual 5G, either low or high latency, and there's a whole lot of tech stuff we could go into with that, but the bottom line is, yes, it is actually faster. It's quite a bit faster once you actually have it versus 4G LTE or 4G anything. I mean, we're talking gig per second speeds, really, really fast speeds that you can get with 5G. So once that's, and it might be available in some of the people watching it, in your areas, it's becoming more and more widespread. But yeah, if you can get it, it's worth it. It is definitely a lot faster.
Really? So Robin's joking. Robin's joining us on Twitter Live. She says they find out you're at Taco Bell.
Yeah, there you go. They will know if you have that.
Indeed.
You're not in the office at all. Yeah.
You're at Taco Bell getting your free taco. Oh no, you're getting your taco. Sadiq is saying, which version of 5G? This is foreign to me, Greg. What version of 5G?
Well, ideally, you have a cross between the two. So there's kind of the lower end of the spectrum. And just to make it really, really simple, there's the lower end of the spectrum, which is the longer wave, which can go a lot further. Then you have the high end, which is can go a lot faster. You can get a lot faster immediate with the higher end. Again, I'm trying to make it as simple as possible. And the problem is that doesn't go as far. So you need a lot of towers to get that. But ideally, you have a mesh network between the two of them. Or even adding in some 4G, which is what a lot of services use now, you'll switch to 4G or 5G. So it's when you see your phone kind of switching there. It depends on what's available. So that's where we're kind of at right now. And again, it's sporadic on what area you're in. You know, there's certain places where you could have amazingly fast speeds, and then you walk a couple blocks away and you don't. So it's all really kind of depends on a lot of factors. But eventually, we're going to get there to where you'll have it pretty much anywhere. And there's all kinds of things that 5G can bring to the table, but that's a whole other, we should do an entire show on 5G, quite honestly.
We should do a 5G, 4G, all G's. But hey, yeah, Greg, so let me ask you this. Yeah, all G's. We're bringing all the G's for the show. What about the other iPads? It didn't seem to mention anything else, only about the mini.
Yeah, I don't think there weren't really many changes on those. So it's really the iPad, the main iPad, 10.2 inch, but iPad mini was their big focus on this. And that's what they're really trying to push. So that was kind of what they came out with on the iPad side of things, which again was a bit of a surprise. We thought there was going to be a redesign to the iPad, but maybe later on they're going to do another event, maybe a month or so ish, where they'll revamp that, maybe a new Mac, who knows. But they put it out in this event. So that was a bit of a surprise right out of the gate, having the iPad. But they went from there though to something that we were expecting, and that was the new Apple Watch. So Apple Watch Series 7. So latest iteration. Starting off, it does have a different look to it. So it's got more rounded corners to it. It's got kind of a more polished look. They talked about a bunch of different new faces you can have for it, for the operating system that you can incorporate in that kind of utilize that new design. They also, as you can see right here, I knew right when they were showing this, a bunch of rocks crashing onto it, that they were going to advertise how strong it was, how durable really it is. And they did say it's got definitely some upgrades on there as far as durability and what you can essentially crash it into or drop it. You know, if that were to happen, they showcase a lot of bike riding. So some new features with it, like this bicycling aspect to where it'll track your rides, and also will bring in, some different features on that end. But yeah, it's pretty cool what they were able to do with it, and where they're going with this. So durability being a big factor. That's something that we've definitely seen, them kind of focusing on. So yeah. That's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure if I'm still live on the air or if I cut out or not.
You are, Greg. You're here.
Okay. My computer went dark for a second. I'm just full disclosure, having a couple of laptop issues today. So that's why I just wanted to make sure.
You better get someone techie to help you over there, Greg.
I know, right? Of course, it's that guy who's going to have laptop issues on the day of a broadcast. That's just inevitable. That's just how it's going to work. So, but yeah, the new Apple Watch Series 7, it does bring some upgrades to it. It's got some new internals as far as being faster. They said, I believe it's 70% brighter than the other one. Is this enough for somebody to upgrade from the Series 6? I don't know. The Series 6 was pretty good too. So I think aesthetics will be a big issue, and also what you're doing with it will be.
This seems to be more fancy than anything else. It feels like it's a little fancier. It's got a little bit, like, it's a little pizzazzy. You get a little bit more screen impact. But I'm not sure that if you had, if you already have an Apple Watch 6 or the one previous, if it still functions relatively the same, I feel like, I was kind of hoping to hear more like health improvements to it, more functions to it, maybe more fitness functions. I felt like this was a little lackluster. Yeah, it comes in a few extra colors. So if that's really important to you, then there you go. But I don't know. It's still, it didn't seem that earth-shattering. So I feel like for a financial decision, I would say this would be a pass for me.
Yeah, and that's totally understandable. So not a whole lot of new groundbreaking functions. There were some in there, and if it's specifically something you're looking for, I can see it. But yeah, as a general watch, they talked about integrating it more into Apple Fitness Plus. So that's something else that it's going to have some more personalized classes you can take. They actually showcase their fitness instructors during the event. So that was kind of neat actually to see. So they had that part. You're going to be able to take some of these classes, some more specific things. So they had the yoga person on there and
This
everybody
is me.
from the different categories. Yeah. And so if you're really involved in that world, then this could be something that's pretty cool, just to utilize that for it. But as a general user, I wouldn't see a reason to upgrade myself based on that. But if you did some of these specific things, I could see that. Or if you just really like that design.
Yeah. I mean, I think this might be an opportunity for you just to hold off just a little bit, but it is a cool thing. So for those of you who maybe your watch is getting old, or maybe you haven't updated in a bit, then that might be a good one, especially if your watch is older than I think Apple Watch 3, because I think you have to have a new Apple Watch 3 or newer in order to do Apple Fitness, is what you're seeing on screen right now, which by the way is awesome. I'm a big
I know
fan
you
of
like
Apple
that.
Fitness.
Yeah. I knew you were an Apple Fitness user.
Yeah, and this is like me, like all over the place, like, and not having to worry about where I am and what I look like when I'm working out. They did say that on the call today. They said it was the biggest club. I guess that makes sense because you can join from wherever you are. There you go.
Yeah. Well, and they have the devices out there. That's one of the things when Apple made the push into services. I mean, it makes sense. Everybody's got their devices already, so it's not like you have to buy new hardware for. Well, I mean, I guess you want to get the newest hardware, but you're already in the ecosystem. Here's some new things you can just pay, a little bit more a month to get. It's very smart on their end.
It's smart.
The same thing with Apple TV Plus. They did talk about that, some of the new shows coming out and new series. But yeah, these services, they hinted a little bit at it. They didn't go too far into the services this time, but it's a very, very big push as a company for Apple. So I think maybe that's what the next event will be. The next event could focus more on some of the services and bundle packs and all of that. But that's what they have for the Apple Watch Series 7. So, not unexpected. I think it's $399. I might have to double check on the price, but I believe it's $399 to start off with. And
I think so. Probably the bare bones model of it.
Yep.
Like one thing,
Exactly.
well, fitness, I will add this for those of you who are looking at fitness, they're adding Pilates. One disappointment I had is I was disappointed they didn't add boxing. I was really hoping for kickboxing. I feel like that's much needed. But I think overall it's interesting. And Greg, I just want to segue real quick because I want to hear what you have to say next, but I was so impressed how well, Apple has always done these sort of launch events. But I think because we're in the middle of a pandemic still, just, seeing their whole, it's really, they did a really, really good job. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should definitely watch this. From production quality, I was really impressed. Were you impressed?
Yeah. They do. I mean, production quality is always really good when it comes to Apple. I mean, a lot of these, I'm just going to be honest. I've seen, hundreds of these tech releases and product showcases from all across the board in tech companies. And sometimes they tend to get a little boring because it's not always, they're not always the flashy speakers that are out there. Sometimes it kind of draws on a little bit. And especially if it's live, they can polish it up a little bit more. So I kind of like the virtual aspect in that. It does suck not being able to get the product in your hand right away. Being there at the event where you actually get to see it right afterward, because then you go backstage or you go somewhere and you get to touch the product and check it out. But still, as a production, it's pretty good. Like they actually put on a really good production. And I would say they're, I mean, Samsung's pretty good too. Google is good. I would say Apple's probably the top on the production, in my opinion, for just production quality. We'll get into Android Apple though later. That part's not part of it. So you got.
I love it.
So the Apple Watch.
Well, Sadiq is saying $329 to $399. That's what he's helping you out here.
$329. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So that makes sense. So $329 to $399. Yeah, depending on what it is that you want to add in there and what functions. I'm sure there's always ways to upgrade on everything. And with that though, let's talk about the main event. The main event of the Apple event, which is every spring, and that is the new iPhone. So there was speculation whether or not they would change up the naming. The previous one, iPhone 12, maybe they come up with a new name for it, kind of like they skipped the iPhone 9, iPhone 10, however it is they did it. They maybe they change it. They did not. It is called the iPhone 13. So they went right with the numbers, and you're gonna get a few things with this. So let's kind of just a quick rundown on what you get. 4 different iPhones. So there's going to be an iPhone 13, the standard iPhone 13, the iPhone 13 mini, an iPhone 13 Pro, and an iPhone 13 Pro Max. So those are the 4 different ones. And that's following the same thing that they did with the iPhone 12, as far as the 4 different models that you can go in there for. And this one now with the iPhone 13, kind of taking a look at it. So that's the Pro right there. And then the Pro has 3 cameras on the back. The mini and the standard have 2 cameras on the back. So that's the difference in the camera arrays. The notch is a little bit smaller on top. And I know for a lot of people, the notch is a big deal. And that's something that they did drop down a little bit. Versus the Androids, a lot of them go with the hole punch. Apple still sticks with the iPhone notch there. So if you're not a fan of the notch, that didn't go away. It's still there, but it is smaller. The screen looks actually really good. What's that?
It's a notchette now, so it's not a full notch.
That's technical terms, notchette. Yep. so you've got that part. The iPhone 13, iPhone 13 mini, they're also both using that new A15 Bionic chip processor. So that's what they're saying is going to make them a lot faster. This is standard when a new phone comes out. They say the battery life is going to be longer. They said the mini is going to be 1.5 hours faster, and 2.5 hours on the 13, or last longer. You have the 12 megapixel front facing camera on each of these. Also the same thing that we saw on the iPad mini. So that's really going to be their standard now. And you can do a lot with those with a 12 megapixel camera. And then on the back, you've got 2 cameras there for the iPhone 13. I mean, not a lot different than what the iPhone 12 was. And we're going to get into some of the functionality of it, but I'll say, overall, they don't look tremendously different to me. But knowing that you're the Apple, okay, you tell me, what do you think?
All right. We got to lay it low. Okay, for sure, I agree with you. The notch has become a notchette, but let's just say this much. Okay, I was like, there are definitely more colors, and what I noticed. Okay, so some of you are gonna appreciate this point, but it used to come in rose gold, and let's be honest, it was just kind of a pink gold. Now they've got full pink. So there's a pink one. There's a like a happy little white. There's a happy pearly white one. The colors are really pretty, and you got to compare this. I mean, Greg, you and I were talking about this just like a couple of shows ago. Was it one of the Android phones had that big ugly black thing to this? This is still a really good looking phone, So. Yeah. The problem I have with iPhones is like, I'm a big iPhone user, but once you put the case on it, you can't see the beauty of it. So I'm really hoping, but when you first get it, look at the different colors. So, and you're right that although in the back it doesn't look that different, but I do know like creatives are going to go a little bananas for this because this thing's got some definitely some pretty creative powerhouse little thingy built into this thing in terms of like, what do they talk about? The promotion. I thought that was super. Apple comes up with really clever names. I gotta say, they call things really cute, so you kind of remember. And they sound kind of cool. I wonder at what point will they not have new names? They might have to change the name all the time. But it comes in pink now, my friends. Don't
so there is pink. Yes, I did. And I did not take that into a factor. So pink, that could be a big selling point. I know the purple was a big deal when the purple came out.
Oh, that's right. The purple's out.
Yeah. So pink coming in that as well. But you mentioned the creator side of it. And that's something that I feel like that was their biggest focus. And it's something called cinematic mode. And it's what they're adding into the processing power for their cameras. Now, cinematic mode, the demonstration was pretty cool of what you could do. And they show like actual, directors using it to film, real movies and different things that people could do with that to really like beef up what it is that you're doing with your camera, with your smartphone. And one of those features being the cinematic mode. And part of that is it does something called rack focus, which that's a feature in a lot of movies where if you have somebody in the foreground and a background, and the person in the foreground is in focus, but the background's slightly out of focus. Well, what this will do will track if the person in the shot turns around and looks backward, the camera will automatically focus on the background because that's where they're directing, the attention to. So that part is pretty.
That's pretty cool.
It's pretty cool. it's pretty cool to see that in use. Like here we go right here. You know, that was kind of a quick demonstration of it. This is their sizzle reel of it. Yeah, it's a pretty awesome feature, quite honestly. I mean, it was impressive, and they
It's
do that.
impressive
And
in
then
a phone.
yeah, right, in a phone.
Yeah.
It has let's see, an adaptive OLED display on the Pro and Pro Max, so it looks really good. Can run up to 120 hertz, 1000 nits of brightness. So just on the screen itself was really good. But the Pro version, you mentioned that ProRes audio. You can do some raw audio. It does Dolby Vision HDR recording. These are all terms. If you are really into filming something really nice, you want to see those terms, and it's all in a smartphone. I mean, they're really starting to rival what an actual pro camera can do. And that's what they showed right there is just people using it to film, cinematic scenes, what would look like something in a movie. And these are, as they said, all filmed on an iPhone 13. That's the Pro or the Pro Max right there. So it's cool. This to me is what really stood out for them today was that part of it.
So the question is how many, normal users, the average users are going to now, to say this is absolutely on my wish list because of this feature. I certainly know my creative team is pretty excited about this, and I imagine some of us will jump on this, but we will see. Robin Stevens, she's joining us on Twitter Live, and she's saying, so could I make a prequel to The Matrix on this phone? I'm going to add a Greg.
I mean, I believe in Robin. I believe Robin could. She's got the eye for it. Absolutely. She knows what she's doing.
She's a good photographer for sure.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, I think so. It'll be, with how much you can do with this and how much post editing you can do with these. That was the other thing. If you go to the very high end, you can actually change the focus afterward with the actual file. So you can change the focus on different parts of things. I mean, it's pretty incredible. These are going to be huge files. But yeah, if you're a home filmmaker, or even up to a pro, as they're showing there, who'd they have on? I think it was Catherine Bigelow. They had some stars on there, star directors, talking about it as well. And it was Catherine Bigelow who did like a little demo with it also. So it's something that I think we're going to start seeing incorporated more into a lot of things.
That'll be cool.
I know what you're filming and still, but it'll look good. I can't say that the quality of the writing will be better, but things will look better.
Yeah, and Vicky and Sadiq like my pink idea, so I think, this got a shot. Now, Sadiq is asking, Vicky is saying definitely great for filmmaker. Sadiq is asking about, I think this is LiDAR, LIDAR tech?
LiDAR, yeah.
LiDAR.
I believe LiDAR is still involved in it. So LiDAR is one of those things to help sense the direction around when you go into a room. It's light emitting radar is what it is. It's kind of like radar, only using light, so it can measure the distance between objects. So for spatial awareness and especially for like augmented reality and things like that, it's a really important feature. And there's a lot of other things it's utilized for, but that's, I believe, still part of what they had on there. I don't think they dropped LiDAR. That would, but yeah, another thing that was added in. One thing they didn't talk about a lot that I was a little disappointed on was augmented reality. I wanted to see more augmented reality.
Yeah, I want to ask you about that because I know you were kind of hoping to see that.
Yeah, I really didn't see a whole lot of use cases that they put out there for it, especially making it such a big point of their announcement using AR in that. I didn't see a lot. Maybe that's still coming down the line. They'll showcase more features for it. Maybe that's what they're talking about with the filming side, that people could start doing it. Yeah, I didn't see a lot of AR. It
seems like the direction they're going, Greg, is like, I mean, we saw with the watch, we saw with the iPad mini, we're seeing with the iPhone. Just hearing your analysis of this, Greg, is making me think that, in this round, Apple was more focused on aesthetics about how it looked, maybe the lighting quality that you mentioned, right, with the mini. And then you mentioned the watch, how the curvature and using more of that screen and the brightness of it. And then now you're talking about this phone also saying thing, really focus on that sensory for the eyes, and obviously a great tool for most of us nowadays are taking pictures, we're taking video more than ever. So this seems like the direction that Apple went this round versus previous rounds where we saw more focus on health and more focus on fitness, more focus on other technology. I know you were thinking we would see more AR, but I guess we did it.
Yeah. Yeah, they didn't really highlight it, and again, there's a lot that they're putting in there throughout it. I'm taking a look at some of the comments as they come through too. Um, you know, I think with all that functionality, that's probably something they'll showcase down the road. I just expected a little bit more in the event. But
Yeah.
nonetheless, it's still an impressive camera. And that's one of the things, when it comes down to new phones. You mentioned the aesthetics, because that's something, if you're an Apple user, this is definitely aesthetically pleasing, I would think, for a lot of people out there. And the Apple is always really good at that, as far as the aesthetically pleasing way that they make things.
And the telephoto lens, right? The telephoto lens, was that new too? The telephoto lens?
That I don't believe is new. It's something that is on the
revamp.
Yeah, the Pro Max has that, and the Pro. I believe the other one has some functionality on that as well. But that all kind of factors into a few different things with it. And that's something that's, at this point, between them, Samsung, Google, OnePlus, some of the bigger smartphone manufacturers, that's where a lot of the battle comes down to, is the cameras. And that's where they're trying to outdo each other. And for a long time, Apple was the best. I think Samsung and Google kind of beat them for a bit.
Even right now, even with all this?
With this is a pretty cool feature. This puts them right back up there. So I think so. Yeah, I think this puts them back up there. But you have Google coming out soon with the Pixel 6, and that's what they've put most of their money into, is the camera side of things. So I think we're going to get an answer pretty soon here to these. But it makes me wonder, though, if we should go to our debate.
Let's do it.
Our Apple versus Android debate, the great showdown that we have for you today.
Which we did on the Apple product, by the way, which we designed on the Apple product.
That's perfect. So Apple versus Android. This is what we want to get into. What do you prefer? What are your favorites? Why are they your favorites? And I put up a poll on this earlier. I'll take a look and see who voted for which on just my poll. But are you Team Apple or Team Android? And so I came up with, I think it's 7 or 8 different things that I think are kind of distinctive qualities that people look for in phones that we could debate which one wins out on them. So that's kind of, I think, where we're going to start here, is get with our debate. So let's talk about the design. So what is the best design? Who has?
This is a no-brainer, my friend.
All right, I want to hear. Design. Let's hear, Winnie. Let's hear your side.
Let's see what the audience says. Okay, so Sadiq is saying Android always. Robin is giving us a dozen apples. Let's just say for design, the design of the product, how it looks. We're not talking about functionality. We're talking looks, style, colors. What do you think for now? So Vicky is saying Team Android for now. Come on now. This comes in pink. I will say for me easily, I think Apple wins on this hands down. I think maybe we could talk about functionality, which I know you're going to talk about, but from a design standpoint, what looks greatest in your hand? How does it feel? This is a really, really nice piece of equipment. These are tools, but they look really nice. I mean, some of these look like jewelry pieces. So can't hate that. The design looks great. And by the way, I would say they're like you said, the launch and design. And Robin says, I hate Android's green text message. Okay, yeah, I agree with you on that too. You know what I hate? I will tell you this. One of the things I love being able to do, and Greg, you're part of this for me too, is I love to be able to text people via my laptop. When I'm multitasking. And so for my friends who are on Android, I literally have to segue back to my phone and go back. And it's just not as, it's just so much easier when, so I know immediately when my friends have moved over from Android or moved back.
Okay. So, I could definitely talk about that. I want to say, sorry if my mic just changed. Having a little, of course, tech guy having the issue, but so my mic may sound a little bit different right now, but I'll make sure that I enunciate. Yeah, the texting side of things, that is something I can tell you every Android user, when you get a text from an Apple person and they start liking texts, because we can't do that back, it can get so frustrating, and it's because Apple has that much more capability. And
you don't care about us.
We can't do it. It's like, it's not an option. We can't like your texts. So yeah, for anybody using an Apple, it's not an Android person just being like, oh, I'm not going to like that. We can't do it. We don't have the option. So yeah.
Well, yeah. And that's the thing, is one of my friends actually segued from Apple over to Android. And, like he wasn't getting any of my texts. And I was like, are you like avoiding me? I got business that I need to talk to you about, like not like, his financial business, but other stuff, right? And he's
Yeah.
like, I just didn't even get anything. I was like, okay, so this is a reason why you're like missing business opportunities because you don't see these texts. So I don't know,
It
but
has happened to me.
I that needs to be segued a little bit better. They need to Apple and certainly Android. They need to play text ball a little bit better. I think
I'm going
that's
to
on
put
both
that
of
on
them.
Apple. I'm going to say that's Apple not wanting to play ball with Android. Yeah, I think that's where it
Android
comes down
doesn't
to.
have likes and loves and emotions to
I don't
your
know.
text. That's not Apple's fault, is it?
Well, I think it's because of iMessage when it comes and just the way that Apple works. But yeah, I mean, there's a debate there. There's a debate that could be had. Well, wait, okay. To talk about this though, the design. So you're saying Apple's design is better, and I'm saying, like, as far as the physical side of things, I think Android pushes it further because they take more risks with innovation. Because Android, you've got like the Samsung, the flip phones and the fold, and you've got LG with a weird wing shaped one. They take more risks to start off with than Apple does, and I like that aspect of it.
Well, you know what? Robin says Apple doesn't want to play with the minor league players. Do, do, do. What do you say about that, Mr. Greg Nibbler?
It sounds like Mikey, my coworker, who makes fun of me all the time for that. So yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that one before. All right, so I don't know. It sounds like this is kind of a toss up. I'm not sure if we're going to really decide who's the winner on that one. I didn't see the comments, so I don't know which way people are going, but I'm going Android. You're going Apple. I mean, I think we may just have to agree to disagree on that one.
Okay, we can still be friends, so it's all good.
Oh, yes, we can. All right. So something else that I think is that a lot of people look at, and we were talking about data and where all your data goes, and since so much is on your phone, security of your device. Who is more secure? Which phone do you get, and you feel like you can trust them with your data more than any other one? And even though I'm an Android user, I 100% have to go with Apple on this. I think just the record is there for their security with data. They're not perfect, but I got to say it's probably Apple.
Well, it's kind of funny given yesterday's news, right? Did you see
Right.
all over? People were saying,
The
update your.
irony.
Yeah. And so I even messaged one of my CNBC friends. I'm like, oh my gosh, we got to update. And so that was good, though. They got the word out pretty quick. So
They did. Yeah. Which, if you didn't know, if you have an iPhone, update it immediately because they did have a breach.
Something to do with security, something to do with something.
Yeah. So yeah, that's something that, I would make sure that you have your phone updated. So that's an important part there. But yeah, security of the device. I mean, I'm going to go, I got to go Apple. So I don't think there's even any debate I can make on there. All right. So something else.
I feel like, don't worry, my friends, my Apple friends. I still think we're 2-2 still.
Yeah. I think you still got it. 2-2. Wait a minute. No, I go.
Design. We still win design.
All right. So something else. Battery life, right? We all factor in battery life when we're getting our phone. That's important. You don't want to always have to be charging. It's indicated by my laptop right now, not charging. So yeah, battery life is important. And I think in my opinion, I've got to go with Android. Android phones tend to be bigger. Their batteries tend to be bigger. And that could be something that you don't want is a bulkier battery. But I think Androids overall have better battery life. That's my stance on it. That's what I'm going with saying that. Now, I know some people may say, it depends on your use case. Mm-hmm. Overall, I'm pretty happy with the battery life of like every Android phone I've had.
Okay, good. Okay, well, we'll give you a battery. We'll still take design, and we'll still take security.
It's really not as cool.
But battery, it's all right. We'll carry a brick around a little bit longer to recharge our phone, right? My friends, my Apple friends out there. We'll make that sacrifice because we get
that's the
1 terabyte drive, 1 terabyte storage on the new one. I mean, we gotta, it's okay. Yeah. We still got design. We still got design. We still got security.
You give us battery life. It's like, all right, you can have battery life. That's neat. I see what you're doing over there. All right. So going from battery life, let's talk about the App Store.
Okay.
So that's a big debate for a lot of reasons right now, especially with all the lawsuits going on and Apple and Epic getting sued, and there's all of that stuff on who has a better App Store. And I think there's, in my opinion, there's two different sides to it. Apple has, they vet all those apps. They're all in there. Most likely they're going to be secure. But then it's the same thing on Android. Sometimes it's kind of like the Wild West, and you may find something really cool in there. Sometimes it's not. They just want your credit card info. But there's more options, I feel like, in the Android store of just more creativity than in the App Store. And that's why I'm voting for the Android store. But what are your thoughts on this?
I would agree with you. I think you're right. I think the Apple Store is definitely a watered down version compared to Android. But I will say that like what you get in Apple tends to work very, very well. So, okay, we'll give that to you. You can have that in your battery.
All right, so I get the battery in the App Store. So those go to me. Go to me, as though I'm Android. So let's go to Android. All right. Another factor. And again, we're live too. So anybody watching live, please drop in your comments. Let us know what you think.
Everybody tell me I'm right. Okay. So
yeah. When I want to hear you to affirm that she's right on this. Tell me how much you love batteries. That's all I'm asking.
Sadika's saying that Apple is closed source and Android is open source.
Yeah. Yep. That's definitely it. There's also a debate on the developer side of things, as far as the money that's taken. Although Google does the same thing. Google takes 30% too. So I feel like that's kind of Apple and Epic. There's a whole lawsuit that we could talk about that it'll get boring. But yeah.
But like Robin says, it's because, when you're the best, sometimes you have to dismiss the rest. But, we'll see. Let's continue on. CrossX Fighter still holding on to that. Android has more battery. I'll give you battery. But like Vicky and I know, like design, we're okay. Okay.
All right. So another factor, the experience, the user experience of the phone. So Apple iOS versus Android OS. And this is, I want you to go ahead and tell me what it is that you like about Apple the most. Maybe you tell me your thoughts on this.
Okay. So I get that, like, I totally get this. So I understand that there's probably going to be some limitations that Apple has versus Android. I'm not going to argue that point, but I will say that from a usability standpoint, time is money. And there's only so many minutes per day, and I want a good experience. I want to know what to expect. I want to make things easy on myself to be able to be more productive, to do what I do best, and to be able, support my family. Therefore, these are things I love about Apple products. One of the best things that you can't discount is obviously iMessage is really powerful, right? To communicate with people who are in that iMessage world. Second thing is from a productivity standpoint, we can't discount how powerful AirDrop is. You're able to transfer such significant large documents so seamlessly amongst different products. By the way, Greg, if I wasn't in Apple world and we were doing this Amazon Live on your side, I bet you wouldn't be as easy as just airdropping images and back and forth. Super, super convenient. The other thing I love is that the stuff just tends to work really well. My husband's a long time network engineer, very high level network engineer. He just says, as much as he tried to go Android, much as he likes PCs, Apple just seems to have less problems. And so for me, that's a big thing. Plus, everything's so seamless, and they talk to each other. The products work. I don't know. What do you think, Greg?
I want to disagree with any of that, but you're right. I mean, it is, and I mean the way that Apple's, I mean, you're right on those points. So the way that Apple has really developed that ecosystem. I mean, one, like you said, all the products working seamlessly together is incredible if you're in their ecosystem, right? They don't play well with others, but if you're all in Apple products, they play really well with each other. The iOS experience, doesn't change tremendously. A lot of times what will happen is, honestly, they'll adapt some Android things that do work and then just keep the rest of the stuff to themselves. So they're smart in that aspect. They cherry pick what works from other services and then just make them their own. So you get some innovation, but mostly you get that experience. You know how it works. You know where things go. You know generally what to do. They'll put some other stuff up, every now and then, but generally speaking, that's just, it's what they do. You're getting the Apple experience with iOS. Now Android, to give the flip side of the coin, it's much more chaotic. It is true.
You said it. I didn't even have to say this.
You are so right.
Why do you need more chaos in life?
I mean, going from Apple to an Android probably is that's like it's speaking a whole different language because it just works differently. But once you get used to it and customizing things, and that's where I think Android, if you want to customize your experience, you want to try new things out or change up the way something looks or how everything functions, you can do that. Like you can actually, even on a simple level, you can change up so much of it and make it work to where it fits exactly you, instead of Apple being like, yeah, here's how it should work. And it works well, but this is it. You work this way. With Android, you can change it up to how you want it to work a little bit more. And I do like that aspect of it, but it is going from manufacturer to manufacturer. There's little differences between all of them, between what they do, what they've already built into it. So you get like even switching manufacturers like Samsung to LG to, any other OnePlus or whoever else, Nokia, like it's all a little bit different. So you got to factor that in.
You got to factor. This just sounds okay. Greg, we got to bring in the audience here because they are cracking me up. Let me just tell you. All right. So let me start with one really good point here. CrossX Fighter on YouTube Live. By the way, CrossX Fighter, we are a big fan of. Thank you so much for tuning in always. He's saying one of the things that he doesn't like with the iPhone is having to log in with an email and password every time I download an app game. With Android, I need a Google account to download plenty of app games without interruptions. Let me tell you, there's a new, this I don't think it's brand new, but it's been a while. When I download apps, CrossX Fighters, I don't have to put in all that. They actually can just, they can do retina recognition, and you can double click on the right end. It scans your face, and you can go ahead and download. So actually the password thing is no longer a thing. And then we're also seeing that Robin Stevens, by the way, is like, I gotta say, she's our star audience member today. She's hilarious. She's saying, Apple makes you feel like you're at the A table, my friend Greg, with iMessages, AirDrop, and like people's texts. Android feels like you're going down Alice in Wonderland rabbit hole. By the way, Greg, you were the one who talked about chaos. I don't know about you. I like a very zen, happy, life. I don't know that I need chaos in my phone, especially if I'm going to pay $1,000 for this device. I feel like they should be in charge of reducing my chaos.
Yeah, I do. I get that. I understand that. I mean, I'm not going to say it's not complete chaos. You can turn it into chaos if you wanted to, if you decided to.
You can turn it into chaos.
Now, to Robin's point, though, one thing I will say that I really wish worked something along these lines much better than it does is AirDrop. AirDrop's awesome.
AirDrop
I really
is
wish.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I feel like it's totally underutilized. It's incredible. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, we were doing events in person, for example, right? And you could go and in a group, let's say, because I do a lot of public speaking, so we'll be in a group of like 1,000, 2,000 people, and they'll want to connect with you, and then somebody in our group will take a group picture. Everybody turns on AirDrop. Everybody gets that photo right on the spot. There's some really cool features I think can't be discounted. I don't know, Greg. I feel like Vicky, I know, is an Android winner. She's saying like Apple always wins. Winnie's son wins. But she says, and we got pink. And by the way, Vicky's an Android user. Greg, come on. I don't know. I feel like
I'm not selling it very well, am I? All right. Well, I think with Android, the customization, the different ways that you can do that, I think that's a bonus on my end.
Okay.
No, all right.
What gave you customization? I didn't even know that was a category. Do you guys think customization should be a category? All right, it should be a category. Why not? I mean, you gotta, it's like you gotta give everybody a medal these days.
God, you're killing me here. All right.
I remember when you agreed to be my co-host.
Oh, man. This is what it's come down to. This is where we're at. All right. So Taking my medal for my battery. Let's go. Let's go to storage. All right, that's a big thing. I feel like how much storage you have on your phone.
Okay.
Here is where I think Android is better because for the most part, at least with a lot of them anyway, you can add on memory. That has always been a huge feature to me, especially with the better the cameras, the more that you're filming, adding on some memory. I think that's a basic win for Android, in my opinion.
No, you're right. You're right. CrossX Spider YouTube Live is saying, "What about storage space?" This is absolutely right. I think this is definitely Greg definitely wins in this category easily. I mean, I think that's the same argument for like PC versus Mac, right? Because PCs you can easily upgrade your memory versus Macs are pretty much you pretty much can't do much with that unless you order ahead of time with like super humongous storage or like external drive. So. Yeah, I guess like okay, so you get your and Curtis is sharing it. So 1 terabyte. I mean, like, hello, Greg, are you paying attention?
The 1 terabyte was pretty cool. That was pretty cool.
I mean, in your phone, you don't have to carry it. Yeah,
you got to pay $500 extra for it. But yeah, it's that's a lot of memory.
Yeah, but remember when Robin said, A game versus B game, my friend.
All right. I think onboard memory is good. 1 terabyte. That was impressive. That was a good move by Apple. But I think it's a little bit late to the game right now. So unless you have that i13 Pro Max, I'm just making up things now. And I think I'm still going with Android. All right.
Apple's giving us 5 terabytes then. By 5 of them.
Such an Apple thing to do to be like, oh yeah, you don't like that? Okay, we'll do it.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you forgot. Sadiq is helping you. Hold on. Greg, Sadiq is here for you. He said, Greg, you forgot double SIM slot.
That's true. Yeah, that is a factor. If you want 2 different SIM cards in there, that's something you can add on. So that's also another.
He's your wingman right here.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right. Two more things. 2 more things to debate here on it. And this
I feel like we already won. But keep trying.
We'll tally up the votes afterwards. We'll get this over.
Your math versus my math.
All right. Camera. The camera. And this is unfortunate because I just talked about their brand new camera.
No competition here.
I mean, the new software for the camera, that's pretty cool. But they have been behind on the cameras. Samsung and Google, the Pixel, have been ahead. And a lot of the features that they're talking about with actually the actual cameras, Samsung and Google already do them. The software they added on, that's pretty cool. Cinematic mode is pretty cool. So I don't know. It depends on whether you talk about their software upgrade or the cameras. It sucks that I'm doing this. We're doing this on the day that they just launched their brand new stuff. So I don't have a lot of arsenal here. But that's, I would say the camera wise, they're not further along than anybody else.
What? Okay, first off, obviously we respect Greg's opinion, and he's our very good friend here. But let's be completely honest. Those of you who are Apple users like myself, do we really care what the other guys have with the camera? We love this camera. We love this cinematic mode. We love that they put Jennifer Aniston and Reese Witherspoon on the launch of this thing. And with all the other features of the iPhone, this is a pretty awesome camera. And unless we're like filming Lord of the Rings, are we going to notice that tiny minuscule of a difference? And I'm not even thinking it's a minuscule difference. I still think Apple reigns supreme here. But don't forget, what did we talk about? What did you say? The thing in the back got a little bit smaller. I forgot what it's called. But it's like, I think we're okay. See, this is obviously filmed by an Android phone right here.
This is 2 against 1 at this point now. All right, so
I'm kidding. No, you're probably right. We could throw this up for a tie. How about we throw it for a tie, just so that we're playing nice here.
No, that's fair. The notch though, for people who don't like
that notch yet. That's right, not yet.
Android wins on the notch. At least we have the whole punch, so you get the full video when you're watching it.
You got another. Okay, so like my
Get
wing
now.
girl Robin today, she said, "Is Greg going to tell us about the new Android TV shows?" Yes, tell us about Android TV Plus.
That's okay. Dang it. How do I even come back from that one? I mean, yes, okay, there's
Taco
Apple,
Bell. We're still talking Taco Bell.
Taco Bell. So tacos, right? I mean, pretty amazing when it comes down. No,
And yes, Android
Ted
TV.
Lasso's good. I don't know about the rest of them. Ted Lasso is amazing. They win. Okay, if we're doing that, then yes, Ted Lasso wins. I can't fight Ted Lasso. All right, fine. The final one. Dang it. And I set myself up for this too.
Yeah, Robin saying,
Reliability,
okay, that
longevity.
wasn't fair. Vicky is really enjoying this. Vicky hasn't stopped laughing yet. I'm glad. I'm so glad that, I think Greg we really love laughter in our lives here. But yeah, see, I know these Apple TV shows, look at the terrible quality. Not.
A couple of them are pretty bad. I'll say that. But I'm starting to nitpick.
Look at that. You look so cute. Yeah. But yeah, Android TV. When's that coming?
Well, there is Android TV, but it's a platform, and I don't think there's any shows on it. You can use it to watch other shows.
Yeah, Android Arcade. Okay. Anyhow, next category. What are we at, Greg?
Well, this is the final category. And again, I did not set myself up very good for this. Reliability / longevity. Like, how long are you going to have your phone? How long will it last? And, there's some very well-built Android phones out there that will last for a long time. And I don't go through a new phone every year.
So that's your argument that they last a long time? As what, paperweight?
I really should have organized this a little better for this fight. Yeah. I mean, it's
CrossX Spider's helping. Don't worry, CrossX Spider's helping you.
Please, CrossX Spider.
Greg, what about
Greg literally
gaming on Android?
I'm seeing the lower thirds now coming through on here.
He's saying, what about gaming on Android phones? By the way, if you saw Apple launch today, you saw that gaming now has become really awesome on the. Is it app? And on the, I think it was on the iPhone, and how basically it feels like your finger is stuck on the whatever thingamajigger. I don't know. I don't play a lot of games on my phone, so Greg, do you play
Apple Arcade? I mean, if you're into Apple Arcade, then
Sasquatch is pretty awesome.
There's a lot of fights though that they have now with developers. So I think if you're a Fortnite fan, Android has definitely been your friend during that. Android does have, if you're really into mobile gaming, there are really specific Android phones that are amazing for that. Mm-hmm. So I feel like, you broaden the category. If that's your specialty, that's what you really want to do. I think Android, I think Android and PC both kind of win on gaming over Apple.
Yeah. We'll make a plus category for you just for that, Greg. We'll make a plus category. Gaming on phone, gaming specifically on phone goes to Android. There we go.
Thank you, Winnie. Thank you very much. All right. I can't think of any other categories, nor do I want to do any other categories. Yeah. I think I've learned a couple of lessons here. One, don't do an Apple versus Android battle the day that Apple releases all their new stuff. That's not, if you're on the Android side, it's kind of setting yourself up there. And also, set yourself up with a win for the end. And I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot on the show today.
Hopefully we'll still be doing the loop next week.
So, Sadiq, CrossX Spider, please, come into my aid. Durability, yes. Durability. You can drop them. They're good. All right.
Well, okay, let's give this
one. You've ever wondered
if
we're live? This is the proof. This is the proof right here.
Well, since the Android phone has that big black bar around it, does it add extra protection?
I mean, they make very solid cases. They're good cases.
Solid but ugly. Not all of them. Just that particular one with the black beam. All right.
I'm pretty sure Samsung had some pink phones.
Do they have
All
pink
right.
phones? I think they do have pink phones,
They might.
but you know, uh, but yeah, no, they both make great phones, and I think we would agree that we would love to have both phones. But
Yes.
and I know this isn't going to change which phone you're going to get. It's probably not going to change the phone I get. And let's be honest, I think whether you're with Apple or you're with Android, they've done a really good job of getting you to love their platform and the way they migrate your data from one phone to another phone. So typically, if you stay within this realm, you'll probably continue to be in that realm. I remember this was a few years ago. My husband was trying to make the migration from iPhone to Android because he was same like a lot of people here thinking, well, I get more for my Android phone, so why should I stick with iPhone? I think he lasted about 2 months, and then he's like, I got to return this thing, get myself back on iPhone. And he says it's simpler, but simple can oftentimes be beautiful, and I'm a believer in that. It works great with my Tesla. It just works great with my team. We have one person on our creative team that is a PC user, and I do think he gets a short end of the stick oftentimes, though. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. If everybody conforms to the same product, I can definitely no. Yeah, no, it does make sense. Apple, I mean, they're so good with their ecosystem. I mean, it's amazing what they can do.
But we can't argue. I think they just make it really cute. Everything is very, very cute.
Yeah, you can't argue with it. Yeah, I mean, with Android, I like the different styles. I like some of the innovation, like the different cool things they come up with. Eventually, they make it over to Apple. Some of them, which is why Apple's smart with some of the like foldable phones. That's why you didn't see a foldable phone from Apple yet, because they're going to wait and see how Samsung does with theirs, how TCL, how everybody else does, and find out all their mistakes, and then Apple will perfect it and come out with one that's just saving all their research and development by watching what everybody else does. And it's a smart move. So by the time they come out with one, it'll probably be amazing, but they'll just be 2-3 years behind everybody else. So that's the only argument I can make there is you're not going to get like the
I think you're right, and I think you're definitely right there, Greg. And I mean, it's so interesting you say that. They're maybe a little bit behind, but they seem to improve it and just make a better experience. And I think for the average Apple or iPhone user, I think they will accept that because they want something that just works. There's not going to be a lot of problems. I think it might be safe to say that with Android users, there's definitely, some more, you got to be a little bit more hands-on, a little bit more DIY, a little bit more savvy, maybe tech-wise. But if you want something just easy, headache-free that works and makes texting more enjoyable and more lively with thumbs up and hearts and happiness, then maybe, I think there's
no
a place
happiness over on this side. There's no happiness.
Yeah, and we need both. I mean, we need both. I mean, otherwise there'd be a monopoly, and that's not good for anybody. So let's just agree to disagree that both are great products.
Yes,
although Apple's a little bit better.
I am totally down with that. Although I do want the iPhone Pro Max, so I'm just gonna say that. That's an awesome looking phone.
Sadiq, did you hear that? Sadiq's like,
I want that and the Galaxy Fold. So I'll take both of those.
Oh,
that's the best of both. You just got to get best of both worlds. So.
Well, I think our friends at Samsung and our friends at Apple, thank you so much for watching. We're willing to test these out for you, and like we're willing to like embrace both platforms. So be in touch with us, direct messages. I think we'd love to hear from you, especially Greg.
Yeah, please do. Samsung, I know you're out there. Would love to test out some products and actually showcase them on the air. We can do, showcase some different aspects of them and talk about them. So and same thing to Apple. That would be fantastic. But first off, I want to say thank you to everybody joining in today for watching this live, for joining us, for being a part of this show. That's just so awesome that we've been able to do this. And it's so much fun doing a show like this, especially with Winnie, with Winnie's son on here and having this much fun talking about Apple versus Android. I mean, it's just such a good time. And I hope everybody watching has had a good time.
Thank you. Did you see that? Oh my gosh. Okay, Greg, you're going to pass out. Sadiq says my next phone is Apple 14. Oh, and then Robin says Pro Max with the taco on the side.
We can all agree that tacos are delicious. I think that's definitely something we can all agree on. That's a universal.
Yes, we can agree on that. CrossX Fighter is saying, I'm glad I helped out Greg. So we're thankful,
Thank you.
CrossX Fighter, that you did that. Certainly, Joshua, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much, Greg, for doing this because, I will tell you, I have watched you and on Digital Trends for all these years. And, I've told you this so many times. I'm such a huge fan of you, but to be able to go through this process with you, what an honor and such an honor. For those of you who don't know Mr. Greg Nebler, he's a big deal, and I'm so grateful that we could do this. And hopefully, he's still happy enough that he'll come back next week. But we'll put him on the spot and see what he says.
I like it. Keep it interesting. Yeah, I am definitely coming back. So thank you so much, Winnie, and thank you everybody for joining. And as always, hit subscribe, whatever platform you're on. We're on a bunch of them. So just subscribe on there. We're on Amazon Live as well. So if you want to check out any products that we talk about, we've got some links over there. But just joining us for this is so much fun. And we just appreciate all of you so much. And always hit us up. If you want to DM or send us an email, whatever it is, we can talk about whatever product you want to talk about or any other questions. Or if you have some cool things you want to show me that you think I should know about, please, by all means, do that. We just appreciate it greatly. And this is, The Loop. And we enjoy doing this show. It's just so much fun.
And we're going to see you next Thursday. So, definitely put in your calendar. We are looking forward to seeing you back. I think it is a Thursday, right, Greg? Are we Thursday? Next Thursday.
I think so. Yes.
Should be.
Yes, should be.
Should be. If it doesn't, we'll change it and it'll probably be on Tuesday. So either catch us on Tuesday or catch us on Thursday. Either way, we can't wait to see you. And, if you do get one of these phones, let us know. We would love to hear from you. Take a picture of it. Tag us in it. Let us know which team that you decided to end on because, we're just happy.
You just want to see those team winning tweets. I know what it is. I don't blame you.
Send me pictures of apples. I'm good with that.
All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thanks so much. Appreciate you all.
Take care. See you next week. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.